Okay, hello guys. My name's Ian, and I'm doing a chat for you guys. This is St John's School. I believe the classes are 5TM and 5CG with your teachers, Mr Moss and Mrs Goldin. Now, I'm a good friend of Mr Moss's, so make sure you're all well behaved for him. Okay, now I apologise, it's a little bit late. I bizarrely lost my voice last week and it's just coming back now so I can talk to you guys, okay? So, as I said, my name's Ian. I've spent about 15 years working in the Antarctic on various different working trips and expeditions. So you sent me some questions regarding the Antarctic and they all look excellent. And what I will do is I'll quickly start to run through your questions, get some answers back to you as quick as I can so it's not too long. And I'll try and show you a little bit of kit along the way. And then there's also going to be another little video which I'll send to Mr. Moss, which you guys can have a quick look at, and it helps to explain kind of what life is like in the Antarctic. Okay, so let's just start running down the list of questions. Now, first question. How dehydrated did you get? So, really good question. Good one to start off on. So, I'm not sure if you're aware, but the Antarctic is the highest, it's the windiest, it's the coldest, and it's the driest continent on the planet. Now, because it's so dry, there's no moisture there. It's so cold, the moisture is all obviously has turned into snow or ice. So it's a very harsh environment that very quickly dehydrates you as soon as you're out there. So as long as you're drinking water, plenty of water throughout the day, you stay quite rehydrated. We had some specialist electrolytes with us as well from some companies that supplied us with some energy drinks to keep our body in the right shape as well. But if you don't drink enough water, you very quickly become dehydrated and you get headaches. You can become snow blind because of it, and it's a very bad place to be. So hydration is a really important part of Antarctica. And just remember, we don't take bottles of water with us. All of the water that we drink has to be dug up from the snow around us using our shovels and put into a melt tank to heat the snow to create water. So all of our water is actually melted from the snow around us. Okay, next question. We're getting on to the good ones. So did anyone get injured by any crevasses? So I'll link to the video that you're going to see at the end of this as well. We hit an awful lot of crevasses. There were some really big crevasses that both some of us fell through, and also some of our vehicles fell through. So if you imagine, we had vehicles there were Caterpillar tractors that weighed 25 tons, and they were breaking through big crevasses in the ice. And luckily, when the tractors broke through the crevasses, because they're big metal boxes, the people inside were protected and there was no injuries. So luckily on this expedition, we didn't have any injuries, but I do know of quite a few stories of people skiing in the Antarctic with their what they call the polks, their sledges behind them, and they've dropped down into crevasses and they've been very badly injured. It's just like falling onto concrete, and some crevasses can be 50 meters tall. Okay. How long did it take you to acclimatise? Okay, so luckily again, from what I was saying previously, the Antarctic's a very, very high continent. The South Pole is somewhere in the region of plus 3,000 metres altitude. But because of our expedition, we were starting at sea level on the outskirts of the Antarctic. So we actually very slowly made our way up the Antarctic plateau in our caterpillars and skiing, and we acclimatised quite well because we took a lot of time to move. So you've got the altitude to think of on the Antarctic plateau, which obviously there's less oxygen, but the cold, because you acclimatise to the cold quite quickly because you've got the right kit. We were lucky enough to have some of the best kit available on the planet, and I'll show you some of that a little bit later. Okay. Did anyone get hypothermia, and how did you cope? Okay, so luckily none of us had hypothermia, but we certainly, some of the team members were affected by cold injuries. I used to go out skiing, and because of the cold wind, if you didn't have any skin, or if any of your skin was showing at any point in time, you'd very quickly, with the wind, you'd get what's called wind chills, and it would be like white patches of your skin that's starting to freeze on your face. Unfortunately, the worst injury we did have was our expedition leader, Sir Ranulph Fiennes. He got some frostbite on his fingers, and what I'll do is I'll send some pictures through as well at the end, so you can actually look at what some frostbite injuries look like. So yeah. Okay. Next one again. So was it difficult to acclimatise? Same as how long? So no, it was quite easy to acclimatise, again, because we had very professional cold water clothing, and we also had we took a lot of time going from the coast, where it was about -10, to the high Antarctic plateau in winter, where it was -50. That actually took us a process of about 3 months. Okay, how did you get over any crevasses? Okay, good. So we actually had a couple of ways of dealing with crevasses, and one of them was we had what's called a ground penetrating radar. So it was actually a radar that sat on the front of one of the guys that's skiing out the front. They'd sit on their sledges, and as it went over, as you drove or skied over crevasses, the radar took a picture to the tractors behind us, and the guys could see what was underneath the snow. So because I'm quite light, generally speaking, most crevasses wouldn't open up under my weight. I could pull a radar over the crevasses, and then if anything came to note, if it looked like there was a crevasse there, then we'd stop the train, our vehicle train, and we could get out and inspect it, and we'd use probes to dig down. If we found crevasses, what we actually did is we'd use the diggers to break through them, and then use their big shovels to fill up the crevasses with snow, and then we could drive over them. Okay, was there a lot of pack ice, and how did you get past it? Okay, great. So on the way down there, there was an awful lot of pack ice, and the worst thing for a ship's captain in the Antarctic is to be enclosed by pack ice. If the wind shifts overnight, it can very quickly trap your ship in the sea ice, and you'll have no means of getting out until the wind changes direction and blows the ice away again. There wasn't a great deal of pack ice for us when we sailed down on this trip, on the coldest journey, purely because we went a little bit later in the season, so the pack ice generally breaks up, the sea ice breaks up, and they get big summer storms that blows it all out to sea from about sort of December onwards. And we didn't get down until January, just after Christmas. So luckily it wasn't too bad for us, and our ship managed to break its way through the ice. Okay, what kind of insulation did you use? Okay, this is a good one here. So I'm just gonna pause the video for a second and stop the video, and I'll get some kit and show you.